today I'm going to teach you how I make all my Minecraft art. You may see, you may be a subscriber and have seen my videos where I make Minecraft backgrounds in about 30 minutes. I fast forward that to about 1 minute and then I give a free download for the wallpaper. And now I'm going to show you how I make all my stuff. So, first of all, it should be said, if you didn't already know from reading the description in all my Minecraft art videos, that the main program where I do all of this 3D editing is called Cinema 4D R11.5. And there is newer versions available, but I still prefer R11.5 the most. So, you know, that's pretty much the program I use. And if you have that program, by the way, this is on a Mac, I'll be teaching you today how I make my art. So, first of all, on my desktop, I have my VFX and Cinema 4D extras and Grayscale Gorilla Light Kit Pro. And this comes with a really nice, under Studios, No Floor Studio, a really nice studio in the air. This ball here has nothing to do with that. We can just delete that by clicking its icon on the right. We can delete all the textures that I don't need. And this is pretty much what I use. Now, the first thing I do in my videos usually is I go up here to the render settings. I go to output and change it from 320 to 240 to 1280 by 720, which gives it a nice, which makes it HD. Now, I duplicate by Command CV this sky texture after clicking it. Go to Luminance, click this here. If you don't have this Light Kit Pro, all what I'm doing now doesn't really matter. It's just to make it look extra nice, but it's not really that important. Now I go to Skylight, delete these two textures, and replace it with the gray texture I just made. And everything from here on applies to everybody. Now what I do is I make a floor, and I make a texture like this. If you don't have it, I'll show you how it looks. It's reflection with Fresnel, doesn't matter the brightness, specular on to the defaults, and color to about a very, very, very light gray. Or I do the same thing with a very dark gray. So for this video, you know what? For this video, I'll put the darker one. I actually don't need this texture. Or this. Now, if I render this out, you can see it's just plain gray, nothing special about it, but when you start putting objects on it, you'll start to see the nice reflections in the floor and such. So, the first thing I do is I'm going to teach you simple, medium, and hard. So, simple would be, let's say, a dirt block. How I would make a dirt block. I make all my boxes 100 meters cubed. Put this up to 50. And if I render this out, you can see how I get the reflection of it. Sometimes I like to change this. Instead of doing reflection, I could also clear and 20% brightness. That will do a little bit less reflective, as you can see, and it doesn't fade. The reflection doesn't fade the further down you look. Now that I have a box, I would double click here and get a new material. And now I would go where I have all my Minecraft stuff. Go to Minecraft. Where's texture pack? And this is a really old texture pack. But I use a really old texture pack for blocks because it still has green grass in the texture file. And I go up, let's say I would want to make a dirt block. And in order, so I can have it, instead of 16 by 16 pixels, I zoom in and take a screenshot of this with Shift Command 4. I line this up here with the bottom of it and scroll. It doesn't need to be perfect, as long as it's better to go a little bit extra in than a little bit extra out. And while I'm here, I'm going to do the same for, let's say, a non-one texture block. Zoom out a little bit. I'll do the same for these two, for the trunk and for the bark. Do that, and do that. Now I have these. I just save them as what I need. And now, in this, I go to my material, turn off specular, go to color, load image, desktop, and I find dirt. Click no, and apply that to that. Now, I have a single dirt block. And it looks just like the Minecraft dirt block. Now the problem is, let's say you want to do something like a tree trunk block. The problem would be, when you try to do that, you would put the texture on all of the sides. So that's what I'm going to show you next. Once again, we'll do the same thing. Make a cube, 100, 50, this time we'll also put here 100, so they're displayed side by side. Actually, just 150, so there's a little distance between them. And here, I would name this just dirt, so we don't get confused. And here, I'll just call it tree trunk. Now, double click here 2 times. Turn off specular, load image, go to desktop. Now I'll get bark, and no. And I would do the same thing here for the trunk. Turn off specular, load image, trunk. No. X that off. Now I go to tree trunk actually, and I hit the C button, and you'll see this little icon here that looks like a cube. Now it looks like a square, triangle. So now that means that it's completely editable, and it's not one solid piece. I can edit the individual sides, which is exactly what I need. Now I go to this tool here, I think it's called Polygon Selection, and I click on the side I want to color, and now drag this texture to the tree trunk icon. Oh, never mind. Drag this texture to the side I selected, and it only applies to that side. Click there, do the same thing, and you might see that it disappears from the other side. Ignore that, it will come back in a second. Just drag that all the way there. And for the top, of course, we want the core image. Can drag up this entire thing a little bit. Not what I wanted. Go back to that, drag it up. Go back to that. Look under it. Select that and put this here. Now, you may think it's still a white cube. Now it's the only difference is that it's colored on one side. So that's where the magic comes in. Now you click away, and bam, you have a tree trunk with the textures exactly how you want it. Now, that's pretty simple. So now I showed you how to do that, and now you can use the same texture for other multi-textured blocks like TNT or grass, except instead of just selecting all of these sides here and then doing all that differently, you would just do it like over, I don't know how to describe it, but instead of just putting for grass, instead of putting the side textures as the bark, you put the grass side. Up here you would put the solid grass, and on the bottom over here you'd put the same as a dirt texture. Now for mobs, like let's say Minecraft Steve or a creeper, you would do this for every single block. Now I'll just show you this by doing a creeper head really fast. Creeper head 50 minus 150, wrong one. Alright, now I already have these textures saved because every time I finish a video I just drag all of these textures here into my Minecraft, so it's easier for my next video. So I'll go into load image. As you can see, my desktop Minecraft, I should already have this, and creeper face, and I have the creeper face texture. I'll do the same here. Load image, here I have creeper skin, which is what goes on the side of his head, and that's perfect. I go to this. Now, if it's simple, like most of the textures are the same except for one, like the wood, it would also apply because 4 out of the 6 textures are the same. I can just, first of all, apply to the entire thing. And now, once it's applied to that, now I hit C and polygon selection, and then I only change it for the face. Click away, and I have a creeper face. Now I would do this for all of the blocks in his body, and then I would size them up and arrange them in order to get creeper. So that's pretty much it. Now the final step is the render, and the render is pretty much the easiest step. So let's see how this looks now. You can see it starts to look pretty nice. I'll zoom in a little bit and get a little bit of a view like that. See how that looks. And as you can see, the reflections are pretty nice. Alright, so I think that's good. Now what I do is, if you already did these settings from before, 1280 to 720, you click the middle button on the render bar. Excuse me. And you can see the spiral. Some people have like bars, I don't know. Mine is a spiral, and it'll slowly start to render the entire picture. And as you can see, where you don't see blocks, it renders much faster for obvious reasons. So that's pretty much all the hard part is done. Now it's going to render blank space, which is pretty simple. Now it's finished rendering. What I do is File, Save As, go from TIFF to PNG. From still image, if it's selected frames, you go to still image, go OK. Now whatever I want to save it as, let's say desktop Minecraft tutorial test. And now I have on my desktop this image with this. So this would be, if I put a lot of work into this and making lots of different stuff, it would be ready for download. If you can see, I'll show you, adjust size. You can see the pixels are 1280 by 720, and this is an HD picture, which is good. And now that's pretty much all it is. The rest is in editing, and pretty much from there is the video you get on your screen. So thanks for watching. Please make sure to like, favorite, and subscribe. It really does help me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.